Ivanschitz came in. It's Brad Evans preparing to enter for Seattle, and a big early moment for the Sounders as Torres decks Altidore. Brad Evans, who's been limited to a substitute role since August with a series of different injuries, joined him in their expansion draft after winning MLS Cup 08 with Columbus. Another of these heart and soul guys for Seattle, who's seen his role reduced significantly. Badischer's cross. Altidore Ricketts, in fact, the touch. Clearance as far as Johnson. Altidore bodying up, as is Mora. Ricketts hits it just wide.
Well, Seattle does not get out quick enough. They're sitting back. I know they're tired legs and tired minds, but that allows Ricketts to have this chance. It just goes off the outside of his right foot, trickles wide of the post. He had Fry beaten. So important, John, these little things. That ball goes up in the air and goes out. Seattle defense has to get up 2, 3, 4 yards.
Brad Evans is on the field now. His 21st playoff appearance of Seattle's 26 all-time playoff games. And Julie, what more can you add on to the third and final sub of the night for Seattle?
Speaking with Ante Razov, they said that Jordan Morris is just out of gas. He wasn't looking like himself. They talked to him during that break, and he wanted to be able to come off. But they said with Brad Evans, he's a guy that we know can really dominate the midfield, and we're already looking at penalties. We have to keep that in mind. He's very good at taking them.
Giroux battling with Roldan to win the ball. Played ahead. Tosin Ricketts, no one in the middle. Torres went to ground early. Now the cross out to Altidore. What a save by Fry! Wow!
What a save, Stefan Fry.
Ricketts foul.
Well, Stefan Fry has been the much busier of the two goalkeepers. However, he has not been stretched like this today. Toronto wins the ball. How about this for a bit of skill from Tosin Ricketts? Lays up a really nice cross for Jozy Altidore. Stefan Fry comes back right here. He gets his feet set. That's what allowed him to save. And then he powers off that left leg. And on top of that, a strong left wrist. Big play.
Long ball played all the way through by Seattle. Stefan Fry is 6'3", and he used every little bit of that to make his 6th save. He had 7 saves against Kansas City. He had 6 at one point in the first leg against Colorado. Now 6 tonight. Those are the 3 most saves made by any goalkeeper in the playoffs this year.
That's not only the best save this evening, that's possibly one of the best saves of the MLS this season. 6'3", starting at the near post, coming back to the center of the goal to then go back the way where you just were to get up in the air, but then you have to have a strong hand to keep that ball out. A very, very good header by Jozy Altidore,
who is limping right now after being run over by Roman Torres on the side, because it looked like Altidore mistimed his jump and he wasn't going to get there, and so I'm sure in Fry's mind he sort of for a half second thinks the opportunity's done.
It's a tough ball to save as well when it's off speed a little bit. You're expecting something a little bit harder. You have to give a lot of credit for the cross for Tosin Ricketts.
Ladero stole in on that loose ball in the middle. He's trying to run away from Michael Bradley. Brad Evans coming forward. Alvaro Fernandez in the middle. Hagelin blocks the cross. 5th corner of the night for Seattle in the 110th minute on the way.
And here is the save. Again, Jozy Altidore leaps up. Have a look at that. The ball's behind him, and he's able to claw it out.
What a return for the former Toronto FC goalkeeper. Well, and if he or anyone else in Seattle felt that he doesn't get enough attention for how good he's been the last 3 years now in these playoffs, that's over. He'll get plenty of attention for that, particularly if they go on to win. Andreas Ivanschitz getting pelted by streamers. And asking them to stop won't do any good. He's going to walk away. He got hit by something that was thrown. We've had that happen in MLS before.
That looked like a can or a bottle of some sort.
George John watching right now, nodding his head. And an announcement over the public address. And still, they're pelting Evenshitz. He plays it into the traffic. Marshall battling. Will Johnson stooping low to head it away. And on a dead sprint to close down Evenshitz. Knocking it out for a Seattle throw. Evenshitz barking at referee Alan Kelly.
He's a very experienced player. He should just stand there and wait until they stop throwing him. If they want to waste all the time at home, so be it.
Ladero back for Mears. Evans takes the touch inside of Cheru, clipping it in. It's a good draw. It's a miss hit. And Roman Torres didn't know it was coming to him. Banisher missing. Now Torres has got to sprint back.
Well, this is Toronto's turn not to get out fully. That's a big mistake by Banisher. He gets off the hook. The heavy touch by Roman Torres. Oh, you'd be devastated if you lost the MLS Cup final on a mistake like that.
To a center back. 8 minutes plus whatever stoppage time Alan Kelly elects to add on before penalties. Cheru into space. Ricketts the speed to get there in time. Back for Nick Hagelin. Hagelin was trying to switch. He got a chunk of the turf there. And now Evenshitz taking the space in behind a Banisher. Met by Will Johnson. It falls free for Jovan Jones. Zavaleta going to ground. That ball's out. Flag is up by the assistant referee. Joe Fletcher on that far sideline. Was at the World Cup 2 summers ago and the Copa America this year. Making that call.
Got a good engine on him, Jovan Jones. Looks like he's just come in the game with the sprints that he's laying down.
Provided 3 assists in their first 2 playoff games. No one in the Sounders playoff history had ever done that before. And he settles that for Fernandez. Evenshitz couldn't find a teammate. Altidore up ahead for Tulsena Ricketts. Torres immediately there. Everybody on their feet, as they have been pretty much all night. A below freezing night on the shores of Lake Ontario. Zavaleta's cross met by Roldan. Be a huge roar or a shocked silence upon a goal here in extra time. Banisher on Jones. Deflected cross, corner number 10 tonight for Toronto.
Banisher just grabbed his right hamstring.
They're out of subs.
And he knows it. Look, he's just holding the back of his leg. He might have a very painful remaining 6 minutes.
Michael Bradley once again to take everyone back for Seattle to defend. Bradley's ball drifted in. Cheru is up for it. Drew Moore brings it down. Roldan got between him and the ball. And Roldan looking to escape. He's got the speed on Will Johnson. Tried to tackle him and couldn't. Evenshitz running up there with the Roldan coast to coast. Does not win a foul. Misplay by Bradley. Handball. And Roldan.
And it looks like Roldan is cramping now.
Both these teams opened up camp in late January. 10.5 months. This is the 44th game for Toronto, all competitions this year. 45th for Seattle.
Well, Roldan uses his body really nicely there. And then he starts driving. Will Johnson cannot run with him. Roldan beats him, even with the ball. But Hagelin does catch up to him. Most referees in MLS would always call that a foul, and I think it incenses a lot of players. It must be nice to have a referee that allows the play to carry on.
We said what a key player Roldan has been. 2nd year out of the University of Washington. He actually surprised everyone draft day by how far he fell. And Seattle engineered a trade with Real Salt Lake to get the spot to pick him. And He was an attacking midfielder for the Huskies. We saw him at left back in the playoffs last year. He began this year out wide. Brian Schmetzer put him next to Osvaldo Alonso when he took over in July, and he's been so good that despite options to play for his parents' homelands of Guatemala or El Salvador, Bruce Arena, new coach of the U.S., brought his name up last week as someone that's on his radar for January. But he's not thinking about January now. He's thinking about 4 minutes plus stoppage time left in MLS Cup, trying to win a title for his adopted hometown.
He's thinking, I need this cramp to go away. He's just felt it again. He saw he tried to lay down a sprint.
Who has what it takes physically or mentally to win this thing? It is going to be an epically remembered victory for whoever gets it, for how much they've poured in over what will be 120 minutes. And it is going to be a nasty memory for whoever falls short. Ivanchitz intercepting that from Zavaleta. Navarro Fernandez holding off Cheru. Bradley intercepts the pass meant for Ladero. Altidore using his body on Rodon. Altidore, Cheru, Ricketts in front of him. Able to get around Jovan Jones. Marshall alert to the danger. Too far for Cheru. It's a second ball out there, which if Seattle attacks down the left is going to put Alan Kelly in a tough spot. No Badershire seen it. Move it off. Hesitation by both Roldan and Alonso. Allowing Altidore to get to it now. Ricketts from Cheru. Ricketts the speed. Can he get around Marshall? Fry was there once again. Well, that was a shot or a cross for Morrow. Stephen Fry once again coming up huge.
Well, whether it was a cross or a shot, very difficult to get down low right by your feet. As this ball's won by Tosaint Ricketts, Josie Altidore plays it to Cheru, right back to Tosaint Ricketts. Chad Marshall does his best to get him wide to a bad angle. Fry just down low to his right.
Statisticians determining whether Stephen Fry would credit for a 7th save tonight. His biggest came a few minutes ago against Josie Altidore. Is there one more chance upcoming? 1 minute stoppage time on the way.
You should give him credit for that save. And if you don't, then you give him credit for 2 saves on the header off Altidore earlier.
Seattle still yet to register a shot on target tonight. When they beat Kansas City in the knockout round, it was the first win in their team history with only 1 shot. Nelson Valdez, 88th minute, on target. But it might just be a defensive action wrested away. 19 shots credited for Toronto. More than half of them blocked by a Seattle player, and they have given that as a shot on goal and a save for Fry. Here comes the cross past everyone. So Fry matching his total from that knockout round game. MLS Cup record is 10 that Tony Meola put up for the Kansas City Wizards in 2000 as they beat Chicago. It's going to be opportunity for the goalkeepers in 1 minute from right now to be a hero in the shootout, unless someone can steal it before then.
Clint Irwin may be happy because they'll finally get to do something in the game.
Alonso got caught by Cheru. And Alonso's down in pain. Both teams are out of subs, so they can't sneak anyone on for a shootout.
This looks like cramp as well.
He had a sprained knee in the second leg against Colorado. Listed as questionable. Brian Schmetzer had him training separately, but insisted the whole time, Aussie's going to play, Aussie's going to play, and he's gone the distance. And Greg Vanny, who talked to us yesterday, not about the completion of a journey, the end product of this giant Toronto FC project, but about closing the deal, getting over the finish line. Both teams on the verge. And it looks like for the 4th time in league history, penalties will decide it, as that's going to be too far for Altidore. Alan Kelly looks at his watch. We've exhausted the 1 minute he indicated of stoppage time at the end of extra time. We're going to penalties to decide MLS Cup 2016. Stephen Fry, a heroic 7 saves in his return to Toronto, and none, maybe all year, better than that. Rob and the guys will set us up for penalties when we return, as it finishes Toronto 0, Seattle 0.
Alexa, ask 1-800-Flowers to order Tina roses.
Okay.
Hey, Santa, you're on in 5.
Great. I've got time for my Starbucks mobile order.
Happy holidays.
Hi, good afternoon. Ava, sweetheart.
Happy holidays.
Mobile order for Santa?
Thank you.
Is going to be decided by penalties. This is the first time it's gone through regulation and extra time, tied at 0. Stu Holden, you've been in one of these. You were on the good side of it back in 06. What's important at this moment?
Well, it's who wants it, Robbie. You can practice them, you can know who's a good shooter, but the coaches need to know who they can count on under pressure. Pressure does funny things to you in these situations, guys.
And how big has this guy been? I mean, in my eyes, he's already the MVP with his saves. Let's see if he can pull it off in the PKs.
It's not a crapshoot. It's not a coin toss. There is an art to control your body and mind in this moment.
Let's see who wins MLS Cup 2016. Back upstairs, John and Brad.
It'll be Toronto who looks set to go first. Stephen Fry, 7 saves in regulation. Clint Irwin didn't have a save to make. Brad, it feels like just yesterday we were at the MetLife Stadium for the Copa America final, Argentina and Chile. What are the keys in your mind to successfully navigating these?
Well, first of all, there's no pressure on the goalkeepers. The goalkeepers can only be heroes. All the pressure will be on these possibly 10 players who walk up to take a penalty.
Josie Altidore, 15 goals in 19 games since returning from a hamstring injury in July. The first player in league history to score goals in 5 consecutive playoff games in 1 postseason. And he will step up first against 6'3" Stephen Fry. In front of the Toronto supporters, the man who has been such a huge catalyst to Toronto's run to MLS Cup. Can he get them started in the penalty shootout? Big sigh of relief. Put his whole body into that one.
And he needed to. You see Stephen Fry waits him out. He goes the right way, outstretched. And if Altidore didn't hit that with pace, probably goes right on the hand of Fry.
Brad Evans, 9 of 9 in his regular season career. He went to the goalkeeper's right to score in Vancouver at the beginning of October. He made a penalty in the Open Cup final shootout in 2012. Clint Irwin, standing in his way, has had 9 consecutive penalties go past him since the spring of 2014. Evans delivers off the bench as a sub, 1 apiece through 1 round.
And as Stu Holden said, pressure does some strange things to some players, but not for Brad Evans. Calm, cool, collected. It's probably the first time in over in half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, that Irwin's hit the ground.
Michael Bradley 0 for 1 in MLS taking penalties. Made in a shootout back in 2010 in the German Cup. Had it saved, going to the goalkeeper's right last summer in the Gold Cup 3rd place game. And the captain now trying to keep Toronto going. Saved!
Well, it just might be Stefan Fry's cup. Michael Bradley steps up, tries to look at Stefan Fry, and just does not hit it with any power whatsoever. When you have tired legs, you have got to put your foot through the ball.
Andreas Ivanschitz, who's battled injuries this fall, came on as a sub. Set piece specialist with that left foot. He's played in cup finals. He's played in the European Championship. And an opportunity to give Seattle the advantage after 2 rounds. Irwin the wrong way.
Yeah, left footers normally go high percentage. Goes to the goalkeepers. Left-hand side, Clint Irwin does go that way. Or sorry, dives the other way, and Ivanschitz puts it to the left of the goalkeeper.
Benros Cheyrou made a penalty in the UEFA Cup round of 32 as Marseille won a shootout in 2009. Very experienced player scored that big-headed goal in extra time. Stefan Fry, is this going to be his cup? Benoit Cheyrou trying to get Toronto back on the front foot. And just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Fry.
As I said earlier, a huge percentage of left-footed penalty takers will take him to the goalkeeper's left-hand side. Stefan Fry does go that side. We saw in the last one by Ivanschitz, Clint Irwin flung himself to the right-hand side.
Alvaro Fernandez rejoined the team this summer, played for him 2010 to 2012. 1 of 2 missed against Chicago back in 2011. Clint Irwin, can he come up with a big moment to level things for Toronto? Yes, he can!
And that's a big moment. And this time it's Irwin who stands his ground against 2 big, strong paws to the ball. Not an outstanding penalty at all. Not in the corner. Decent saving height.
Will Johnson, who had to watch from the sideline 2 MLS Cups he was a winner in. Now an opportunity to have a direct hand in his original hometown, coming back to Toronto this year. And we're swaying back and forth in the press box like we were last Wednesday. Johnson scores, Toronto in front.
This is so tightly contested, just like regulation and extra time was. The first time Fry goes the wrong way. Again, good confidence showed by Will Johnson.
Jovan Jones, left back for Seattle, attacking midfield player for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. What a season he's had. Needs to make this to keep things on level terms going into the final round of the shootout. How about that composure? Top corner, and we're in sudden death rounds essentially now.
Yes, and again, left-footed player taking it to the left of the keeper. Irwin goes the right way, but there's too much power on that. Very good penalty by Jovan Jones.
This is the first time we've ever had free agency in MLS, and Drew Moore was a part of that class. Now, he was brought in to shore up a defensive issue for Toronto. He did that, but it's going to be an offensive opportunity for him now. MLS Cup winner on this field in 2010. Can he put Toronto on the verge? Yes!
Stefan Fry's gone the right way, 4 out of 5. That's a good pen, right in the side netting.
Brian Schmetzer wanted Nicholas Ladero to go second. Ladero said, nope, I'm going 5th. And the newcomer of the year, who was involved in a penalty shootout in the Copa Libertadores earlier this year with Boca Juniors, needs to make this. If he misses, if Irwin saves, Toronto wins MLS Cup. About that from Ladero, and we're going to bonus rounds.
And the 4th left-footed shooter for Seattle goes to the goalkeeper's left again. Very similar to Jovan Jones's. Never a doubt.
Justin Morrow was the highest scoring defender in the regular season. He said, it's an important mark for my career. I get overlooked a lot. I'm not really in the conversation of top American left backs. Greg Vanney last week said he's our best left-sided attacker. He'll be taking this in the 6th round as he begins sudden death rounds against Stephen Fry. Off the bar, and Seattle now a kick away from winning it.
Lasmaro runs up there. He wanted to go straight down the middle the entire time. Just gets his foot under, leans back a little bit.
Roman Torres, who impressed all of us last year at the Gold Cup, but then missed an entire year with an ACL injury, returned in Portland at the end of August. What a beast he's been tonight, dealing with Josie Altidore and Sebastian Jovenko. And now an opportunity with his foot to win MLS Cup for Seattle, which he has done. The Seattle Sounders have done it. MLS Cup winners in 2016.
Well, I normally don't like that short run-up, but it didn't make any difference to Roman Torres, Brian Schmetzer, the Seattle board, their fans looking him up there in that left-hand corner. Congratulations, Seattle Sounders.
It's their 5th title. They won 4 in the old A-League and USL. 3 of those 5 have come in shootouts. And Roman Torres, whose return from injury was one of the key additions that propelled them on this run. But Brian Schmetzer told us Thursday, I hate the idea of us being a Cinderella. He said, we're not a Cinderella. We're a good team who didn't play very well in the first half of the year. And when Schmetzer took over, when Ladero joined, when Torres returned from injury,